Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Amy,
And I'm Katya.
and today we're talking about one of our favorites, Skid Row. Katya, what do you got for us?
Well, before I get into Skid Row, I want to tell everyone if they're listening to this on one of their podcasts to hit like, rate us, and if you're on YouTube, also like and subscribe. So Skid Row, one of the rock bands that were well known from the 80s, and they formed in 1986. Did you know that the current lineup, which is Rachel Bolan, guitarist Dave Sabo, Scotty Hill, and drummer Rob Hammersmith, has been the lineup since about 2010, but the lead singers have changed. And recently, Lucy Hale of Hailstorm has been singing with Skid Row. And did you know that in 2022, Erik Grönwall debuted on Skid Row's first studio album in 16 years called The Gang's All Here. And in 2024, Grönwall unfortunately had to leave the band due to health issues. And you had a chance to see Grönwall perform, didn't you, with Skid Row?
Gosh, he's a powerhouse. It was so impressive. It was at a club, so it wasn't very big, very similar to Brenda's show that we're going to get in as we introduce her. So amazing. Erik Grönwall has the most amazing voice. Like he matched Skid Row. Like when you think of Skid Row and you're like, well, if Sebastian's not there, it's not Skid Row. Hold on. You need to listen to Erik Grönwall with this band before you make that choice. His energy, his grit, his control, his I've never heard another singer like Erik. I can't give him enough props. He did this on Instagram, this version of Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, or whatever the name of that song is, like one of her huge hits. And oh my word, you really need to go find him on Instagram. Give him a follow. He's an incredible singer.
Well, and nobody
Hands down.
touches Whitney unless you can sing Whitney, because that
Oh
would just be
gosh.
embarrassing.
It
Well,
was
I'm going to give you another did you know about Erik Grönwall.
okay. Yeah,
In
yeah.
2009, he won Sweden's version of Idol. And
Oh.
somewhere during that season, he sang Skid Row's 18 on Live.
Oh.
So Eric must have been a rocker. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's, I want to try to find that one too.
Yeah.
And did you know way back when John Bon Jovi and Dave Sabo were high school friends? And briefly, Sabo was the guitarist in Bon Jovi before Richie Sambora.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So there's that
yeah.
famous Bon Jovi story, right? Where they're at a show or some or other, and Richie just comes up to John, introduces himself, and says, I'm your next guitar player. So, okay, not saying that Richie replaced Dave, but is
Okay,
that a thing?
I'm going to give props to Richie if he did, because otherwise we might have just had one amazing band instead of two.
Instead of two. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this way we have
Yeah.
Dave Sabo doing Skid Row, which we have loved. And I believe there's also stories that like Sabo and John Bon Jovi said if either one made it big, they would bring up the other one. And that gives us
Oh.
to like, I always connect Skid Row and Bon Jovi together. And
Oh
it was
yeah.
probably some of those
Well,
concerts too. They're just like,
yeah, yeah.
just interconnected, like
Huh.
the rock bands that we have. And
Gotta love
speaking
that.
of Rachel Bolan, that's
Mhm.
actually his stage.
Oh.
And it's a hybrid of his brother's name, Richard, and his grandfather's name, Manuel. And
Mhm.
Bolan is a tribute to one of his childhood idols, T-Rex frontman Mark Bolan.
I love
So,
that. I'd heard the story about the last name, but I don't know if I knew the combination of his brother and grandfather. I don't know if I knew that.
yeah,
That's
I think
awesome.
that's cute. I think,
Hmm.
and Bolan has appeared as a vocalist on two of Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley's solo albums, and backup vocals on Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood album.
Really?
Ooh, yeah, talk about your 6 degrees
I
of
did not.
separation there. Mhm.
A little bit. Oh yeah.
And did you know the artwork for the for Slave to the Grind, which was like
Hmm.
this amazing painting, was
Hmm.
done by Sebastian Bach's father, who was a classical artist. And it's based on Caravaggio's Barry of St. Lucie. And I find that terribly interesting because I'm living in Italy surrounded by Caravaggios. And if you look closely at the
Wow.
artwork, see things in it like modern gadgets and like John F. Kennedy, but like in the look of a classical painting. So it's actually truly, to me, an iconic. Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to
So
go
I'm going to have
back
to
and
go
look
back
at
and
it.
pull it back up. Exactly. And did you know now on the website, Skid Row sells spirits? So they
Oh,
will just keep adding to, a
yes.
show we're going to have to do where we try them all out. And
We'll
this
have to
one
do
looks
that
like,
together.
we'll have to do a tasting of, and I believe theirs is rum. So we'll have to see if there's
Okay.
cocktails you're supposed to make with it or do you drink it straight. So yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of fun. It's debuting right now.
All right. All right. All right. So we've got, what have we got now? We've got rum, gin, hello, rum, gin, and we have vodka too, right? We have vodka.
I think so.
What
And I
else?
believe one of the guys also in Skid Row makes hand soap. So then you could wash up with something
Oh,
lovely.
excellent. Excellent. Okay. Okay. I know
Oh,
the drummer from Trickster is doing vodka too, so I thought there was somebody else, but uh, mm-hmm. We're just
oh,
gonna have to have.
and Hampton Water, Bon Jovi's
Oh no,
rosé.
we got to do that separate. I am not mixing drinks. I am not drinking wine and rum and gin and vodka. I am not doing that. That's
What
not.
was
Nope. Nope.
when we were young? It was like liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before wine. I
Before
don't know.
liquor, beer before
And
liquor, never sicker.
whatever it is, I don't want to mix any of it. So,
Right. Seriously. Oh my word. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, okay. With that, I am
Yes.
excited to talk to our next guest,
Oh,
Brenda, who
oh,
has a great Skid Row story,
yeah.
and can't wait to hear about it.
Alrighty. Me either. Everybody, here's Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Katya?
I'm doing great. And so again, we're all meeting up from different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Portugal right now. Brenda,
Uh,
you're
I'm in
in,
Arizona.
and
okay,
I'm
in
in
Amy.
Oregon. Yeah. And I do have to say really quickly, Miss Brenda, I adore your shirt.
Thank you.
I adore your shirt. And if anybody's not familiar, that is Joe, as in Joe Elliott. That's a Joe Girl shirt
Joe
that I
Elliott.
have admired for many, many, many a moon. So, okay, sorry, but we're not talking about Joe today. Who are we talking about?
We are going to talk about Skid Row and Brenda's experience with Skid Row. But before we get into that, I'm going to take you back, Brenda. Um, what has been like growing up? Who were your musical influences, or what is some of the first bands or singers that when you heard you were like, wow, I'm going to be into music?
Well, actually, it was when I first heard Bon Jovi. I still remember I was playing with my sister, and I must have been like, I don't know, 11, 12 maybe. And we heard You Give Love a Bad Name, and you know that intro, Shot Through the Heart. And we
Mm-hmm.
were like, what was that? And immediately we knew that was the music we were going to love. And ever since that, it's been rock and roll.
You
That's
know what? I
awesome.
actually remember when Bon Jovi came out with that too, and it blew me away. Were you able to see Bon Jovi during that time period? I mean, you were a little girl, but
I've never seen Bon Jovi.
okay, we're going to have to figure out how we can rectify
Oh
that.
no! Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh.
So, when we talk about Bon Jovi, it's like almost inevitable when we talk about like Cinderella and Skid Row. So, when did you first hear of Skid Row or go see them play?
I first heard when Youth Gone Wild came out. That was, it was like an anthem for us, especially, being young
Mm-hmm.
and you were kind of wild at that time, and your parents telling you, oh, that music is no good for you, so you were like blasting that song, like, we do what we want. So, and the first time I saw Skid Row must have been, I want to say 91 in New Haven, Connecticut.
So, wait, yeah, no, I have to
Yeah.
tell Brenda, just keep laughing. This is so us too. Like everything about like the songs, hearing Skid Row
Yeah.
and those bands and that back then. Yeah.
Was that the Slave to the Grind tour? Do you remember?
I can't
I think
remember.
so. Okay.
I
Yeah,
think that was Slave to the Grind.
I think so. Yeah. Fun.
And so how many times over the years have you seen Skid Row?
Actually, that time and recently in December when they came here to Tucson.
Okay, tell us about that Tucson show.
Well, that was the first time I went to see them with Erik Grönwall. I went by myself. Nobody here
Taking a
likes
word.
rock music, my family. So, I traveled by myself. So I went and actually saw the show, and it was just amazing. Well, before the show, I listened to the whole album, kind of got a little acquainted with Erik, and I was blown away by his voice. It was just amazing. And, the chemistry between them, and it was just great.
Where did you see them? What was the venue?
It was the Rialto Theater in Tucson, Arizona. Very small venue, which is great.
That's what it's going to ask. How many people at the show? About? What do you think?
About maybe 300.
My gosh, that sounds perfect.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
phenomenal.
And I was able to get I wasn't able to get the VIP meet and greet because by the time I went to get the tickets, they were all sold out. But so I was able to get in the front row though. I met one of my good friends now, Diana, that lives in Las Vegas. She was there for their show, and I met her there. So all the VIP went in before me, but she saved me a spot. So when I got in, she was like, "Come here, hit me up." So I was able to get a spot right in the front.
So Brenda, I have to ask you, what was the crowd like at the show?
The crowd was amazing. They had a really good response to Erik. The crowd inside was just great. They loved the show. It was a party actually.
Mm-hmm. I actually saw that tour, and I have to tell you, Erik. So if you don't know, Erik Grönwall is Swedish, right? And he came in, stepped in, and he's a phenomenal singer. Covers everything. Like he's such a great fit for Skid Row that I actually walked away with my memories of seeing Skid Row in the past and seeing Erik going, that was electrifying. It was phenomenal. His energy, everything was just, I was blown out of the water after that. So I know when you're talking, Brenda, I'm like, yes, I feel it. Did you do anything, like, did you go, like, I know you're a lot like us, and did you go hang out like before the show? Did you go wait by buses or do anything like that pre-show?
Yes, I usually go. Whenever I go to a show, I go a day or even two before the show. I travel to the place because I like to, go around the venues and see if I can meet some. So I actually had lunch at one of the restaurants right across the street from the venue. And then I'm walking by and I happen to look to the side of the venue and I see Erik. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Erik. There was probably a group of like 7 people there. And I kept on walking because I got really nervous. And I'm like, what am I doing? Just go and talk to him, like he's talking to other people. What's the worst that can happen, right? So I go up to him and I just stand there. He's talking to everyone. So I'm just standing there like, like I'm part of the crew, but I'm really not. So I don't know anyone. But all of a sudden he goes, hey, and your name? And I'm like, hi, I'm Brenda. He's like, hey, I'm Erik, sweetest guy. Let me tell you, he is so sweet and humble and just like one of us, it doesn't feel like you're talking to a rock star.
I love it. Wonderful.
That's awesome. So do you remember what they played from the show?
What they played? Songs?
Yeah.
They played 18 and Live, Youth Gone Wild, but they also played a lot of their newest album, Resurrected, The Gang's All Here, which it's just great because when Erik sings that, he jumps in front of the crowd and just hangs out with like everyone, just, sings with you and everything.
No,
That's awesome.
I've actually watched some videos of Erik performing, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have seen him play. Okay, so you say that song stood out for you. What other Skid Row songs are some of your favorites?
Some of my favorites, well, Youth Gone Wild is, obviously one of them. But I want to say, like, Wasted Time is one of my favorite songs of Skid Row. They don't usually play that live, but it's one of the, my favorites. And I Remember You, when they sing that, is just, it's such a feeling that you
Yeah.
get.
And how is Erik's rendition of I Remember You?
Just phenomenal. Erik's voice is, he's an angel.
Okay. And what other things do you remember from the show?
The show, like I said, he has a lot of interaction with the crowd, which I love. And just the dynamic that they had, they play really well together. He sings, and they seem to be like brothers.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So did you met Erik before the show? Did you happen to see them again after the show? Any interaction with Erik or anybody else in the band after the show?
After the show, actually, yes, it was Erik's birthday, and my friend Diana that I met that night is friends with Erik. So after the show, it was Erik's birthday at 12 midnight. So the show ended at 11:30. So they actually told us to find a bar that wasn't too crowded so we can celebrate Erik's birthday. So we ended up going to a bar down the street, which was called Elliot's. We hung out with Erik and Snake. So I was able to meet Snake, which was one of my crushes, back in the 80s. And I met him, and wonderful guy, wonderful guy. We hung out till, about an hour, a little more at the bar, having drinks and just hanging out like friends.
How
That is
surreal.
beautiful. What's there a birthday cake?
No.
Okay.
I can't imagine that happy birthday rendition and how that must have sounded with that group. That would have been awesome.
Did they sing happy birthday?
We sang a little, I think, I can't remember, but it was just, like I said, like we were just hanging out like good old friends.
So you're after the show and you hung out a little at like a meet and greet backstage, and then somebody says, oh, it's Erik's birthday, let's go to a bar. And you're like in this group of people, and you're kind of going through this is kind of the vibe I'm getting, right? What's going through your head? Are you sitting there freaking out inside going, how is this happening to me right now? What's happening?
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm actually talking to Erik, Snake. I was standing right next to Snake, and there was actually some girls, Snake, calling him Snake. And he was like, hey. And I'm like, they're calling you. He's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, I can't believe I'm standing right next to Snake. We're going to a bar to drink or, and just celebrate Erik's birthday. I'm like, this is a dream come true. This is just, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even sleep that night, to be honest. Like I said, it was just a magical night.
Yeah.
It sounds magical. No,
Yeah.
that sounds.
That's so awesome.
And so on this tour, did they leave in a tour bus, or how did all the goodbyes end?
They were on a tour bus, and actually they weren't able to hang out till, much longer because the driver had they have a schedule. So he told them, I'm going to give you to a certain time. So we were there only, they hung up for a little while because they had to leave. They were going to the next town.
Oh. Have you seen Skid Row since then?
No, I haven't. I've seen
Snake
and Rachel.
Oh, okay. Where'd you see them?
I saw them in June in Phoenix. They go to Days of the Dead conventions, which is a horror movie convention. I don't watch horror movies, but my son loves them. So they were there, hung out for a little bit. I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I actually talked to them every day for a little bit.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Are they big? They like horror films?
Yes, they are. Very.
Did they play music at the convention?
No, they were just there. They were selling albums, posters. They would sign stuff. You could take a picture with them, but that you would have to pay for the picture.
That is so much fun. Now, and there's something, even I was looking on the Skid Row websites recently. They even sell spirits, or they even sell alcohol.
Yes, they actually just launched that. They launched it the beginning of the year, I think, in other countries, but it was recently launched here in the U.S. They have vodka, and they have a rum.
So for you two that are in the US, have you tried it?
I haven't yet.
Not yet. But in all justification, though, Def Leppard released Gin, and I don't have that either. Sadly, did you do that? Nah, no. See, we need to get a hold of some Skid Row rum and some Def
Yeah.
Leppard gin and
Okay, so
see what
Amy,
kind of trouble we
for
can
our
get
next
into.
meetup, I'll call
We'll
Amy.
get
Will call Brenda, and let's all see if we can meet up and do a taste
Well, I'll
testing
meet in
of like what we
Vegas.
think of this.
Well, I'll meet in Vegas and go to town. Yeah, that's awesome. What was your favorite memory from that time meeting Skid Row? Was it like either before the show, after the show, or the horror stuff? What's like your biggest takeaway and the thing that you'll hold on to most from that?
I want to say after the show, hanging out, like I said,
Yeah.
at the bar, celebrating like Eric's birthday, because it just felt like, I was hanging out with, friends from that I'd known forever. And it was just so cool. Actually, Rob Hammersmith was there too, but he was
Oh.
with other people like on the side, like, with one of the other people from the group that was there. But it was just great. That was a great memory for me.
Oh, and could you imagine like your teenage self doing that? At least now there's more like.
No, it's funny because back in 91, I met Sebastian at a parking lot in the hotel that we're staying. It's just so weird. We were hanging around the hotels and we walk into the parking lot and I see Sebastian walking this way with like security or whatever. And we're like, oh my God. My sister actually snuck into the hotel. I don't know how she did it, but she snuck into the hotel. And when she was in the elevator, when the elevator opened, Rachel was right there. And my sister almost died.
So did you get to talk to Sebastian back then?
He was really in a hurry. So he was just like, hey, hi, but that was it.
Okay. Was that back when he had that like luscious, long, blondish brown hair?
Oh, yeah. Yes. He's very tall, slim, and he was gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That is okay. So you went full circle with your Skid Row story.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I hope there's more. I hope there's more
Mm-hmm.
adventures with them.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fun. Okay, Skid Row, next time they're in Vegas, all three. Us, right?
With Def Leppard and Skid Row Spirits.
right. We'll put those
Actually,
into the room so it doesn't.
Rachel and Snake are going to be in Vegas on my birthday. They're doing the Days of the Dead convention that weekend of my birthday, 17, 18, and 19. And the 19th is my birthday.
In January, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's early.
Okay, Brenda.
I wasn't prepared.
No, I'm going to say, I want some more stories from that show or from that convention. That's going to be great.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe yeah.
You have bubbles. You said maybe and it gave you bubbles. Look do the heart. It doesn't work for me.
I know. No.
Oh,
No. Oh, there
is
we
it over
go.
here?
Yeah, mine does.
Mine doesn't do it.
Yep.
I guess you can't be the host and have it work. Whatever. Okay. So then from start to finish, the night of the show for Skid Row, Brenda, from top to bottom, sounds like, you go hang out like a day early and you get hooked up with Diane. And how did all that go? Because we met at a concert, and so when you have like lifelong friends that you meet at a concert, I always want to hear tell me about that.
Well, Diana was one of the people that were standing with Erik, talking to Erik while when I saw him. And it, like I said, it probably 5, 7 people. Janine, it's another one that I met that day, and we keep in contact on Facebook. And they were all just talking and everything. And then after I met Erik and everything, he said he had to go and Janine actually said, "Oh, Rob's waiting for us, the drummer." So he's like, "Oh, really? Let me get him." And then he said, "Oh, no, never mind. Just come with me." So everybody was going. So I just tagged along with them, and that's how I met Diana.
That's awesome.
Yep. And I met Rob, too. And so that's Diana, awesome. Ever since that, we became good friends. Like, I was just in Vegas last month, and we actually, saw each other went out and everything.
That's so fun. That's
Music bringing people together, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. So now, say, have you and Diana been to any other shows since then together?
Actually, we went to now in September. We went to when I was there. We went to Rock the Vault, which I love. Every time I'm in Vegas, I try to go to that show. I love that show.
yeah, that sounds like fun. What bands, like, what did they, it's mostly it's cover bands, right?
Well,
Or what is Rock the Vault?
Rock the Vault is a show that they start from, I want to say, 68, and they start telling you the history of rock, Jimi Hendrix, Woodstock, all that stuff. So they'll sing a Jimi Hendrix song, Woodstock. And they go year by year, 68, 69, 70. So from every year they sing a song, and it's different singers, different, musicians. Like Blas Elias is the drummer. Um, Keith St. John is one of the singers. Travis Cormier, he won, I think, The Voice I think it was The Voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's there. It's a lot of different, and every time you go, it's sometimes there's different ones, sometimes it's the same people, but it's just an amazing experience. Like I said, they'll tell you a little story about the rock music
Oh,
and
that's
sing a
nice.
song. Like one of the Def Leppard songs that they sing, it's Pour Some Sugar on Me. They do that.
That's
But
phenomenal.
they
That's so awesome.
We'd like to add this to our Vegas trip.
Yep. Done. I'm gonna write it down. Vegas.
Oh, I love Vegas. That's my happy place.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Wow. All right. So now we have a few more things to do, especially getting to Vegas. I don't think I can make this birthday, so hopefully Skid Row will be there at the next birthday. Uh, and goodness gracious, what an adventure. How fun is that?
So, Brenda, I'm always like looking for new music, old music, classic music to know what people are listening to inspire me. So, I have to say, is there any music you'd recommend that I'm listening to?
Yeah, actually, my friend Tony Childs, that I've known since, like, I don't know, maybe 89, from Connecticut. They just got a new album. They're called Electric Temple. And my friend Andrew Freeman from Last in Line is the singer. Matt Starr is the drummer, and Mike Duda from Wasp is the bass player. And it's an amazing album.
Do you know if they're touring?
Not sure about it yet. Tony said they're probably working on it, but the problem is because, Mike Duda right now is traveling, he's touring with Wasp, so it's gonna be kind of hard. But I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they do soon. They actually just went on Bands in Town, so I'm hoping that they announce something soon.
All right. So we have to point out the last in line connection. So Andrew Freeman, right? Singer. Anybody else that we might know that's in last in line there, Brenda?
Yes, Vivian Campbell.
Sorry, I had to pull that out of you.
We're really big Vivian Campbell fans.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Oh, he's such a sweetheart.
Alrighty, friend. Well, thank you for coming and sharing your Skid Row experience, and keep us up to date. I know you have more stories, so I'm sure we're gonna talk to you again. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about your wild and crazy childhood.
So good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. That's great. Thank you. Next is Docket.
Oh, yes, we have to do that. We definitely have to do that. And I know you have connections with Dawkins, so I've got to hear about that. Well, the next one we'll do with Brenda is Dawkins. We'll do Dawkins. Yeah, excellent. And thank you, Miss Brenda.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty.
This has been fun, and I look forward to the next adventures. Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Amy, that was so fun of Brenda's story, but I just really wanted to hear them all sing their version of Happy Birthday. So big thank you to Brenda for coming on and telling us. I had a lot of fun with that. She's another one totally connected with, and I hope we get to meet her in person someday.
Me too. And she's got some other fun stories that I'm sure we'll hear from her again. For now, make sure that you like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on a podcast streaming service, make sure that you leave us a review. Some stars would be great, whatever the platform is and however they do that. Also, every week when we come on, we ask you if you have a story to tell, and we kind of say, reach out to us. And we do have a few emails. We've been getting some good guests on the show. But if you don't have your own story, but you'd like to hear stories about your favorite band, send us an email on that too, because we can always, always, always find fans to share stories. So if you want to hear, say, somebody, that we haven't talked about before, let us know. We'll be happy to accommodate you.
And another thing I want people to look at is our merch shop. It's rtlmerch.com, and there are some really fun items on there that are so cute. The sweatshirts, the mugs, the t-shirts, the hats, the scarves.
Yep.
Love them. So
Yep.
yeah, if you have a chance, would love if you could check those out.
Yep. And don't forget to follow us on our socials. We are on Instagram and Threads and TikTok at Rock the Life Girl and Rock the Life on Facebook. All righty. I think
And with that, don't forget,
Rock the Life.
look, Rock the Life is so fun. Okay.
I don't know why it cracks me up every single time. I love you too. Oh, my word. I'm going to have to tell you a story about where that comes from. All right. Talk to you later. Love you.
Okay.